Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to BND Live, the D&D live stream where a bunch of high school friends attempt to play Dungeons and Dragons remotely via the internet. With us, as always, we have Erin as Agnes the Bard, Tim as Twizzard the Wizard, and Stephen as Finric the Monk. Chris as Flies the Cleric will be joining us shortly, and I am Shawn, your ever faithful and humble DM. And this is BND Live. All right, let's do a little recap from last week, shall we? So let's see. Last week, DeGaulle dawned, raining, with even a bit of fall chill in the air. You packed up your stuff though, and you continued to ride along north. During the lunch stops, there were some off-color pig morphing and eating heather remarks, which kind of soured the mood, really, even into the evening. And a bunch of soggy adventurers hunkered down for the night. But other than that uneventful day, the next day, Detal arrived, uh, and after a long morning of riding, so did the Ateum arrive at Wesleyville. Worth noting that Agnes made a bit of a friendship along the road with Heather. Little effort made on her part, that was good. A pair of farmers' markets, empty because of the day of the week, caught your attention. Agnes searched and found some apples, while Twizzard searched and found some old blood. Um, but he conjured an impressive apple to save face. Stopping to help an old farmer, you split into four groups. As Norful and Heather headed into town, Finn and Agnes found two peaceful goats. Twizzard and Paelias found two seemingly mad goats, and Finric ate a delightful cheese. All of the goats were rescued and restored, and lunch was had by all as a reward. Finally entering the gates of Wesleyville, you met Shady Baggins, parent brother of Salty, and he led you around due to a generous 5 silver tip from Agnes. You found some monks, you found some boats, and that's where we ended. Much more to explore, and a dinner invite waiting from Lady Norful Lewin. And so we'll reconvene. It is the tall afternoon. It's a little overcast, but it's not raining, and it's around 4 p.m. And you're down in the drippings, otherwise known as sort of the docks area. What would you like to do? Oh, wait, before we do that, Paelias pipes up and says, I'm going to go, who is my goddess again? Oh, yeah, Mistra. I'm going to go find a temple to Mistra. I'll be around. I'll be in touch. And he goes off into the maze-like interior of the drippings. Never to be seen from again. No, he's probably fine. And you guys, I forgot to put out good old Shady Baggins. He's with you too. Oh, yeah. Your friend's probably going to get really lost. Is that okay?
Uh, yeah.
We have sending stones.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that is, but it sounds cool. Yeah, where do you guys want to go?
Well, I mean, I I would have loved to have gotten to a monastery, but I feel like it's a little late in the evening. I would be interrupting things. Um, where is there a good place to drink?
Ooh. Now we're talking.
Oh, well,
We need to
yeah.
find a place to sleep for the night.
Yeah, no, right over there is the Black Bull.
The Black Bull's in Virginia, right? You mentioned the Duchess is the nice place. Is there somewhere maybe in between?
Well, there's plenty of good inns. Let's see, in between. How far do you want to walk? Because this is a large city, right? So walking from one end to the other is not it's not, it's possible, obviously. Oh, that's right. You guys are still mounted. So, yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
should
saw
probably
that.
also find a livery at some point to, or maybe not. I don't know. What do you want to do?
I feel like we could just ask to stable them at the Galdingers estate.
Ooh, can we?
That or Lady Norfall Leowin.
How
God.
far of a walk is it from the Galdingers?
Oh, well, the Duchess, that's right near the Galdingers, because it's over in River Lane, or, what I like to call the estates. But, that's where all the rich people live. But, yeah, if you want something like a little less fancy than that, we could leave the horses there and then walk over somewhere else. Parliament,
Maybe we get some carriage rides.
Parliament, which is pretty much the downtown, like pretty much shuts down early, but we could go back to the monks, but they're probably shutting down.
But it's Sunday. Wouldn't they technically be open?
Yeah, but not any place to eat necessarily, unless you're part of the monastery.
Well, in terms of food, we have dinner for us at Lady Norfall Leowin's.
Oh, okay. Well, afterwards, I mean, you said you wanted a drink. There's also the Purple Hearth. That's over, like, in the Fakes. You can check that out.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's go to all of them.
Oh, you're drinking man, hey, Wizard?
Pub crawl!
Well, we need to collect all the different drinks. It's like Pokemon. Gotta catch them all.
Gotta catch them all. Pokemon of bars. I don't know what that
We're
is.
right near the Black Bull. Can we stop in?
Is it inns or is it drinking places that only, like, who has the specialty drinks? Only inns?
Only inns in this world.
Okay. Is the Black Bull an inn or is it just a drinking establishment?
Black Bull is an inn. In fact, the Black Bull is where Twizzard stayed.
That's a
Way
good
back-
place.
Way back
I
when.
always liked it there.
We can stop in there and kind of get a sense of the environment it provides.
What if I still got my old room? Room number 2.
All right, so we'll head over there.
Yeah, let's check it out.
All right. So you guys leave directly next to the water, behind a little as you follow Shady Baggins, and he leads you over to a rather dilapidated building. The wood is stained dark with age and some kind of material leaking from the roof, and it's not great. It doesn't give you a great sense of cleanliness at all. There is a sign hanging outside with a large black bull depicted on it. Definitely a colorful place. As you come up, a dwarf actually gets thrown through the door way into the street. Sort of like gets up, looks around, sees you like, and sort of scampers off, like trying to save what little face they have left. That's the kind of place the Black Bull is.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful. It's just like I remembered it. Oh, you guys are gonna love this. We'll up around the bull shots.
I sniff the air and I'm like, I smell alcohol and urine.
Yes. That is accurate for the Black Bull. You
well,
head inside.
Mr. Twizzard first.
Okay.
All right. You guys head inside. Finn is still with you. Shady accompanies you in as well. Mr. Bones, of course. And very dim interior. Even though it's only a little after 4 p.m., there's definitely some shady-looking characters stationed around the inside. And again, a little less urine, but definitely still some. And definitely sour beer assaults your nostrils. And a red tiefling with 2 curving horns sort of sees you and saunters up. Very scarred face. Hello. Maeve Stormclaw's the name. What'll you be drinking?
What's the
What's
house
the special-
specialty? Oh,
There
sorry.
we go.
You're all talking at once. What
But
would you
yes, but
say?
we're talking in unison, so it should be okay. It should be louder, if anything.
Yeah, I don't really like the look of you. Yeah, you.
I'm.
Are
That's
you
just okay by me.
are you giving me lip?
No, I'm.
All right.
Just looking for
And
the
he
house specialty.
slaps the table, even drowning out the last of what you said. And he's like, so you want the signature drink, the Hog's Wallop?
Ooh, that sounds great.
You've got a
I'll take-
distinct look about you. And he points at Twizzard.
It's my red hair. It matches your red skin.
Are you the one who blew up the toilet around, I don't know, a year ago?
It could have been me. Lots of people blow stuff up. Was this a good thing or bad thing?
It was funny, but you do owe me a couple gold for it.
Yeah, I don't know if that was me.
I think it
Is
was
it
you.
fixed? Because I all this talk of urine that kind of do need to.
Well, you should go check it out. It's brand new.
I'll check it out.
So you bought a new
I
bucket?
have one of those drinks.
Awesome.
I have a house signature when I get back.
It's the finest bucket.
In
two-
fact,
Oh, I was.
referred to as a bouquet.
Oh,
Yeah, there's 1 silver for the 2 gold is for the bucket, and the rest is for the cleanup that I had to do.
Well, maybe one day you'll get a trough.
You giving me lip again?
Yes, a little bit.
I like that little one. Go use the bucket.
I go use the bucket.
All right, so he goes off and he. I guess Twizzard, what did you say, Agnes? Did you order a
I just
drink?
want to see what happens with the signature. I'm gonna ask, what's special about this particular Hog's Wallop?
let's not ask. Let's just order. A round of, what did you say, brawler makers?
What? No, it's the Hog's Wallop.
Hog's Wallop.
Hogs Wallop. A round of Hogs Wallops for all of us.
Ah, I like you, Twizzard.
I'll just have a mead. Thank you.
All right, 3 Hogs Wallops. No, wait. Let's see. How many are you? Wait, is that you, Shady? Yeah. Hey, Maeve. You with them? Yeah, I'm showing around. I'm useful. Yeah, sure. All right, so I count, what the? He sort of looks over at Mr. Bones. What in God's name is that?
He says hello.
Is he getting a drink?
I don't know.
You sit around.
Yeah, he'll have one too.
All right.
We'll just pour it on him.
Well, it worked with the
That's true.
the Sun's Glory.
He's
So.
gonna get us some milk
That's
at one.
So Finric, you maneuver through the tight quarters. Like this is definitely a smaller place than the Ringing Bell, and certainly smaller than the Singing Sisters.
Still
And,
a good sized bucket, though, right?
What's that?
Still a good sized bucket, though, right?
Well, you notice as you make your way to what you think must be, because there's a staircase going up, and then there's like one other door, and then there's the behind the bar area, and the bar is not much to look at either. But you notice some seedy types sort of looking at you. Most of them not directly, but at least 1 or 2 directly. And you sort of walk past and push open this almost like a swinging, door that you'd expect to find, like a 2-way door, like doing the kitchen, but this is for the bathroom. And sure enough, inside, it's a bucket. It's a big bucket with a board on the top with a smaller hole cut in it. You can tell that not everyone has found the hole.
Just flip the board over.
So I got a number 1.
All right. So you take care of business. Roll a sleight of hand to see if you make the hole.
Ooh, how exciting!
This is the content you're here, folks. You're for, folks.
17. I ain't drunk yet.
Oh yeah, nice.
Got almost all of it in.
All right, you head back out just as Maeve brings out a round of drinks. So he sets a hog's wallop in front of everyone, Finn included. He also sets a mead in front of you, Agnes. So you have a hog's wallop as well.
I think that I might actually. I'm gonna ask him if he has any flasks for purchase because I'd like to save my hog's wallop.
Save it? Do I look like a store? No, save it inside, lassie.
Thank you so much.
I don't have any flasks.
Okay, thank you.
He turns around and walks away.
Finric, do we have any leftover flasks? I can't remember if we purchased any leftover ones or if we only purchased the ones that had liquid in it.
That's a good question.
I don't remember purchasing any extra flasks. I know I have a water skin. I'm trying to remember if I have an actual. Let me look at my inventory actually.
I've stuff filled.
Because I know I do have ink bottles, which actually those ink bottles, didn't we put some of the
Ice wine?
I think so, yeah. I think
ice wine?
Was it ice wine? Maybe.
Because we wanted to put the antidote to the charm spell or whatever into the ice wine bottle.
Right. Yeah, you were definitely emptying it out. And the ink ones would have been empty. So yeah. Let's say you have an inkwell, you can empty out.
All right, so I'm gonna pour as much as I can of the hog's wallop into that inkwell, and I'll put the stopper back on it.
All right.
Sounds like a plan.
I'm gonna pour as much of the hog's wallop as I can into my mouth.
So you expect me to drink this? Says Finn.
It's good. Put hair on your something.
All right. Are we all drinking at once then?
Well, didn't you have the goat's milk one or the sheep's milk one at the sleepy one?
Yes, I suppose I did. All right, so we're all drinking at once.
Yeah, bottoms up.
All right. So even Shady Baggins kind of looks a little nervous, but everybody swigs except Agnes, who drinks her mead. And I'm gonna need a round of Constitution saving throws.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Oh my gosh, Finn got a nat 20. Let's see what Shady gets. Shady surprisingly fast.
Plus your Constitution.
Oh, right. I actually have something for that.
Yeah, you're
21.
Easy. Oh, it was 16. 20. Not nat 20, but 20.
All right, so Mr. Bones, what did Mr. Bones get?
Good question. I don't know what he...
his Constitution is there.
I feel like that's boring if we all pass.
Yeah, 16 for Mr.
I
Bones.
might have to have another round.
Well, I still have some left over in mine, I'm sure.
Well,
So,
see if you make
as
the
you
hole.
all swig back, it's like really like strong alcohol, and you all like you feel it to some extent, sort of like it just like boom hits you in the gut, and like the aftertaste is just like burning. But even Salty or Shady manages to resist the effects of the hog's wallop. But you all feel like you're almost punched in the stomach almost. But yeah, you drink them down, and Mr. Bones splashes on the ground, and Maeve Stormclaw comes up again. Ah, I see you. You might be a group of tough adventurers, huh? Stand
That
your
we are.
ground to my hog's wallop. Maybe I didn't mix it right tonight. But are you eating any food?
What you got?
I got Oh, some stuff in the pot. You know.
A stew.
Yeah, it's a
Catch-all.
secret recipe. And one of the people from the other table yells out, "It's rats!" And the guy and Maeve sort of like turns toward him and you see this beam of energy shoot out and like knock the guy off his chair and he's like, "Shut up!"
Do you have any vegetables?
Oh yeah, I got vegetables. This is I'll go get some. He goes off.
I don't know, rat stew. Never had it.
I'll pass. I don't want to spoil my my appetite for Lady Norfolk Lewin.
This might be better. You might get
He
a
goes
one
back
block.
and he like sets down a plate in front of you, Finric, and you think it might have been like a turnip or maybe like some kind of sweet potato at one point. But now it's just sort of like brownish. There's definitely some mold on it. And it looks like if you were to poke it, it would be very soft. There. Delicious.
Well, you know, I'm not a food critic professionally, but yeah, this looks great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't want that. I'll take a bowl of rat stew.
Ah. All right.
No tails.
Okay, so I take mine and I sort of like shove it on the floor somewhere where he won't see it when he gets back.
Yeah, the floor is pretty dirty, so it'll be good. You'll be safe. Finn
Mr.
is
Bones,
just
if you see that,
disgusted.
step up.
Shady is still sort of holding his stomach. Finn is disgusted. And he comes back again. There you go. When he sets down a steaming bowl of a dark brown broth. And there's definitely chunks of something floating in it.
Oh yeah. Get a load of this stuff. Oh, this is good.
Oh, do you use Gravy Master in your stew?
I'm just gonna eat it up.
Who's master?
Gravy Master, or do you use bouillon cubes or Bisto?
Yeah, I don't know what any of that is. I make stew the way my mother made stew.
Well,
Yeah,
isn't
dress.
that wonderful?
And
Carry
he
on the
walks away.
tradition. Eat up.
I'm eating. It might taste like rats. I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying that's all I can think of now.
All right.
Okay, it's rats.
Roll another Constitution save for me.
17?
Yeah, it's not great, but you pack it away.
Oh, even 17, it's not great.
Finn's like, how long are we gonna stay here?
Oh, did you guys want to get rooms here?
No.
No, all right. Well, I don't know. I'm good. I just want to visit it, see how the place has changed. Seems about the same, a little bit nicer. Actually.
Has it changed? Nicer?
Yeah, a little bit.
Sort of turns to you with an incredulous look on her face. Maeve comes back one more time. How was it?
Oh, it was good. Very good. I quite enjoyed it. Thank you.
All right. Well, so let's see. With the drinks, the stew, and the vegetable special, and the 2 gold you owe me, that'll be 3 gold.
Yeah, well, I still don't think it was me that broke anything last time, but what the hell? This place is sentimental. All right, you have your 3 gold.
All right. He sort of takes it, bites it. You're welcome at the Black Bull anytime you're in the drippings. He walks off again.
They don't make places like this anymore.
Yeah, let's move on to the next place.
Yeah, let's get out of here. All right. Agnes, give me a perception check as you leave.
$14.
All right. You think you may notice a couple people just sort of taking note as you guys leave, but you can't be quite sure.
Well, I'm sure the group of us turn a few heads.
Agreed. You do have like an 8-foot tall skeleton with you.
Ooh, we gotta disguise him.
And a dwarf with a red mohawk and a monk, and yeah, and it's bright red hair on you. Yeah, no, it's a colorful group. But you guys head back out. I don't know, call it 5 p.m. now. So where do you guys need to get and when?
We need a place to stay, right?
Well, the lady offered her place if we couldn't find one. But we could get an inn, and I can ask about performing there, so I can get my my lodging.
I feel like the Duchess, right? Would that have the most tips because it's like they're wealthy, or they'll be like stingy because they're wealthy?
I feel like
Go
it
either
could
way.
go either way. They might already have performers lined up to play there. Like, it's probably a better place to play.
Yeah.
I don't know if my family name would have any pull, but
Or a duet with a special
Mr.
trim
Bones.
gentleman.
Well, if they have any performers already, we could give them some of the rats too.
They probably will have to call out sick, yeah.
Yeah.
Slip a little bit of this Hogs Wallop in there.
Hogs
Yep.
Wallop. You got the Hogs Wallop. At least one dose. Yeah. So let's see. So yeah, I mean, the Purple Hearth is like really the far other end of the city. So the Duchess is probably the closest if you wanna. But I can take you over to the estates and show you where the Galdingers and the Leowin estate is.
Well,
That's probably a good idea.
we
If
might
it's going to
get
take us a
free
little
lodging,
time to
right?
get there, yeah.
yeah. Let's do that. Let's go to the estates.
All right. So you guys head, winding your way. There's sort of a main road that leads along the water's edge. You sort of wind back out of an alley, away from the Black Bull, and then the sort of larger road that leads along the edge of the River Rennell. And you notice a distinct, after this one street, the houses start to look much nicer, the shops much more well kept, and as you round this sort of this little bump out of land, you look to your left and you see much larger, statelier ships at mooring and tied to the docks there. And Shady Baggins says, "Well, yep, here we are, River Lane, or the estates as I know it. But, yeah, let me. Where do you want to go first? Cause the Galdingers or the Leoan?"
We should probably wait to see the Galdingers on a full day instead of popping in at night, because they're not even there, so we would have to deal with their servants. And it's a Sunday. Well, not a Sunday, I'm sorry, to go. So,
I was gonna say what day?
yes.
Yes, there was no rain. There was sun. It was a Sunday.
Yeah, it was a sunny day eventually.
So you want to go to Lady
Leowin's?
Lady Leowin's?
All right.
Layaway?
All right.
Norfolk, Virginia?
The other thing, I think, Agnes, what's your passive perception again?
I think it's 14. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 17 for passive perception.
Does anyone have one higher than that?
I don't.
Maybe
I
Paelias.
don't think so.
I don't think so.
Paelias might have something close, but he's not with us, so.
Yeah.
Oh, 15. Yeah.
Of note, Agnes, the sort of the city guard that has the Wesleyville crest, which is again the sort of eagle with its wings up and the sort of filigree across the top. You notice the city guard is definitely more apparent as you get around the nicer area. The houses themselves are larger. They even have, some of them have lawns, some of them have stables. You guys are still on your horses. Presumably left them staked outside the Black Bull, and they were still there when you came out. But yeah, you some of the city guard do give you some looks as you pass by, especially Mr. Bones. But again, the sort of proximity to what Shady Baggins calls Magic Town, this sort of thing is not completely out of place. And so you continue, and the houses basically, yes, turn into estates. They're larger, and they have fenced-in gardens or lawns that have clearly been tended by people. And Shady sort of inspects one, and he's like, "Yeah, I think this is it. The sort of the lady, she likes to have a lot of parties. That's her, right?"
Oh yes, I believe that is her.
Okay.
On our way, I guess, through that nicer area with some of the guards, if any of the guards looked a little younger and cute, I winked at them.
Oh, all right, all right. I think that I'm gonna take off now. You guys are staying here, or at least... Oh, I guess I could show you where the Duchess is. But I'm probably not gonna go in there. And he's sort of like, you see that road there? If you hang a left there, go down. The Duchess is on the right. Can't miss it. Big statues out front.
Where can we find you, Shady?
Oh, I'll be around. Don't worry.
No.
I almost feel like I could just whistle and you'll just pop out of nowhere.
That's us Bagginses. We're always being useful.
Yes, you are. So
All right,
glad.
See you later. Shady walks off. All right, how do you guys want to? So you're sort of at the gate of this estate.
Are there any guard, like estate
Nope.
footmen or guards there?
Nope. Doesn't look like it.
Gates open?
Gate's open. It's
Oh.
not open, but it's unlocked.
In we go.
Yep.
All right. You head. It's not a huge yard, but it's well maintained, and sort of a wide veranda of sorts. And you go up, and big door is in front of you.
I'm sort of hanging back a little bit, right?
What's that? You're hanging back? Who's leading the
I
charge?
mean, I'll
here?
still go with. I just I'm not on the vanguard of,
All right,
I'm not
Agnes.
the front of this formation.
Yeah, we'll get a little. Is Mr. Bones in the back, front, middle, or is Mr. Bones right behind Twizzard?
Yeah.
All right.
Really knock on the door.
Twizzard.
Magic knock.
I don't have magic knock.
Apparently it knocks on doors.
All right, you knocking, Agnes?
Yeah, sure.
You hear some footsteps inside, and then it opens up, and sure enough, there's Heather. Oh, wait.
Oh,
There's Heather. And she's sort of like, she waves you in.
We're like a bad penny.
So you guys go in, and a large entry hall is there around you, sort of a grand staircase curving off to one side, and Lady Norfil runs up. "Oh, wonderful! You found the place all right then. I'm sorry we had to leave you out by that quaint old man with the goat problem, but we just had to get back. There were things I needed to tend to. I hope you understand."
Yes, you are in charge and beautiful estate, all of the things that need to be taken care of on a regular basis.
Oh yes, many things, and I'd been gone, and I just needed to tend to some things. Should we have the cooks are almost ready with a meal? Would you like to get right into that first?
Would it be possible to stable our horses while we are here?
Of course. How rude of me. Heather, be a dear and help them and show them to the stables, will you? Heather sort of nods and goes
Yeah,
outside.
Heather.
She sort of looks at you, Twizzard, as you say that.
Oh,
And then,
yes, I said that.
Does she have a scally face?
yeah, she does have a scally face. I don't know if that's.
Oh, she definitely does. She definitely does.
Mad at the world.
Hmm.
Aw, poor Heather.
Oh man. So yeah, so she goes out and sort of steps around Mr. Bones, and then calls over to a stable hand. So you guys sort of walk inside. So you're now fully inside, and your horses are being tended to.
Do we have all of our belongings essentially?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, unless you left some on the horses. You also have a lot in the bag of holding. Not quite sure
Yeah.
of the exact breakdown, but you're
But, I mean,
definitely
I would-
you're definitely in your traveling clothes still, right? I mean, you're not. You might need to
Yeah.
freshen up, I guess, if that's what you're getting at.
That's what I was just going to ask. Like, would you like us to dress for dinner? Because, we have been on the road for several days and you might want us to be a little bit more presentable
Yeah.
at a dinner.
The more observant among you will notice that Lady Norfil has changed her travel clothes for something a little fancier. But yes, of course. I could. How many? Well, I guess maybe Finn and Agnes. Would you folks? You could use the room down on your left, and Twizzard, and where's Paelias, by the way?
He's a
It's all
study.
I trust he's well.
Yeah, he's visiting the local monastery, keeping up with I don't know, long lost monk buddies that he met there.
No,
Interesting.
I mean, he's at the church for Mistra,
That's what he's doing.
his goddess.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Of course.
Just
Well,
keep catching up on the news.
Twizzard, Finric, and your quaint bones fellow, you can use the room down there.
What are we doing in there?
You're freshening up.
I'm pretty fresh.
Maybe just throw a little water on your face.
All right. So you guys.
Take that stench of the black bull off of us.
Yeah, exactly.
You can prestidigitation yourself.
Might have some rat on my pants.
So you head down, and these are basically what you're in is effectively guest rooms, and there is a sort of separate, sort of has some nice fabric screens around it, where there is a porcelain chamber pot as well as a basin on a pedestal, and goes the same for both rooms, with some water in pitchers. And one of the pitchers is actually warm to the touch. Perhaps magically so, and these are both very large, maybe 3-5 gallon pitchers, and the other one is cold to the touch, and there is plumbing, and so Finn sort of does some prestidigitation herself, and she sort of looks over to you, Agnes. Would you like some arcane help?
I think I have some of my clothes in my traveling bag here that I'll change into.
Of course.
But thank you.
No problem. Twizzard, you, Finric, and Mr. Bones enter a similar guest room on sort of down a hall on the other side. What would you like to do? Any of you?
I'm just gonna go. This is nice. Look at all this good stuff here. Ooh, look at that. That's a tiny chamber pot. I'm gonna fill that thing up. I like this warm water here. This is nice. How's this plumbing work? Can we refill these pitchers or?
The pitchers. What would you like to do?
Maybe I'm gonna. Oh, I wanted to dump some water on Mr. Bones to clean him up.
Sure. Yeah, you could do that.
Figured that might
There's
cost one of
not really a shower or bathtub.
I wasn't looking for one of those.
You're just gonna do it on the floor.
Well, then I'll press jigga the floor, and I'll gust the floor until it is dry and clean again.
All right. So you're cleaning up Mr. Bones.
Yeah.
Finric, what are you doing? Anything to freshen up? Changing robes or anything?
That's a good question. I don't think I will freshen up.
All right.
A bold tactic. I don't.
How warm is the chamber pot? Not the chamber pot, the pitcher next to the chamber pot.
Yeah, I wouldn't go near the chamber pot.
How warm is the
Now
warm?
go in there.
What's that?
How warm is the warm jug?
Pleasantly warm.
Pleasantly warm? I might just hold it.
All right. You hold the jug and you feel it's like you're getting a warm hug.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice. I mean, it's like porcelain,
Yeah.
but it's kind of nice.
It's like a, yeah.
Porcelain is a good-
Just like from my parents.
All right. From your cold, hard parents, a warm hug.
A warm, hard hug.
A warm, hard hug. Perfect.
As you go into the corner of the room and cry in fetal position, rocking back and forth.
No. We're stiff upper lip. That's the Finric household's MO.
All right. Finn finishes up. I'm gonna head back to the main hall, I suppose.
I'll come with you. I'm going to bring my loot. Do you think that's appropriate to bring that so play before or after dinner?
I think that's a wonderful suggestion.
All right, bring in the loot.
All right, so you guys head back. Finric, Twizzard, you
I
guys
guess
head.
I have one of my performance outfits on.
All right, excellent. Finric, Twizzard, you guys heading back too?
Yeah, sounds good. I think
All
we're
right.
all cleaned up.
So Lady Norfil is there, Heather is there as well, and they sort of usher you into a much larger room.
Ooh.
Wow, fancy smancy.
Yeah, I got a color printer recently, so now I can print things in color. It's very exciting. But yeah, she sort of ushers you in, and she takes a seat there, and Heather takes a seat here next to her, actually.
Oh, I thought that was for me.
There is a sort of raised, what looks to be maybe like marble or some kind of stone up front, and the floor is tiled, and there's a large table set with some various foods. You also notice there are some floating trays of other foods sort of being either just dropped off or some things just taken away. And you get the feeling, having spent so much time around Twizzard's unseen servant, that there may be some unseen servants here. Where would you folks like to sit? Let's, first of all, yeah, let's call this the north side, south side, and then either closer or further away from them.
South side, next to Heather.
I'll take northwest, furthest from Heather.
Mr. Bones?
Oh, he can sit next to me. Or stand. I don't know if he fits in one of those chairs.
They're well-made chairs. Finn will sit on this side just to make it seem a little less odd that you're sitting so far away. Finn is still, that is. Where are you going, Finric?
Yeah, can I go
On the table.
that?
On the
yeah,
table?
that'd be great.
Dancing on the table.
A couple seats away from Agnes, maybe.
All right.
So across from
Like literally a couple?
Well, a couple, not a couple in between, a couple away. So, well, you had it. No, one closer. There we go.
Got
So
it.
I just, vacillate. It's hard to.
my loot is probably sitting next to me.
Oh, Agnes, you brought your loot. Wonderful. Would you maybe care to play after the dinner? So there are some sort of hors d'oeuvre-like items already set.
Why, yes, of course.
Wonderful. Well, please, partake. There are some grapes, some cheeses, some crackers. There's a platter of these like little tiny what look like fish, maybe. Actually, Twizzard, you would probably recognize them, being from Torin. It's a sort of the dwarven nobility would have these as an appetizer sometime.
Do you know what they're called?
Give me a history check.
Oh, actually, I have good. I was gonna say I have good history, but I'm pretty sure I've got a foggy brain right now. 7.
Yeah, maybe it starts with an F. You're not quite sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
this is fancy dwarven. These fancy fish. I've seen these before. Ooh, look at this.
Oh, yeah, of course. Now, are you from? Where are you from, Twizzard? If you recognize the Finnis, you're probably from Torin.
I am torn, specifically the town of Red Run.
Ah, very interesting. And what, I don't know if we've ever covered what set you folks on your adventuring ways and, with the pyramid and fighting the mummy lord. If I really want to sell this invitation to my fellow nobles, I really need to sort of, what can I put on the invitation to really entice people to come?
I look at Mr. Twizzard. I'm like, yes, Mr. Twizzard, what will entice people to come?
Magic show and backflip demonstration.
Oh, now the backflip demonstrations, that does sound delightful. I'm afraid the magic show, I don't know, around here I need a little more than that. Will there be fisticuffs? Danger?
There is a chance the dinner table could get fireball.
Oh, okay. But again, that's
pretty
more
good
magic. I was hoping for a little more rustic, a little more hands-on. Will my guests feel the danger?
We can turn it up a notch.
We could turn up the heat.
Yeah.
Call it macho magic.
Yes.
And your bony friend, will he be part of it?
Yes. And if anyone wants some audience participation, we can work that in.
Oh, excellent.
Mhm.
Yes, that's. I think I have just a person. Yes.
They will have to sign our standard waiver.
Oh, legalese.
Yes.
Are you?
Before I was a wizard, I was going to be a lawyer for all of 30 seconds. But,
Really?
yes.
I believe they're referred to as solicitors.
Solicitor.
Give me a deception check.
Oh. Ooh, 11.
Really, Twizzard, you never cease to amaze.
Yeah, I don't cease to amaze myself either.
Miraculous. At that point, some more platters of more dinner-like foods, some roast beast of some kind, some fish, larger fish, and they sort of float up on the trays carried by the unseen servants, and sort of clear away some of the hors d'oeuvre trays that you've been nibbling off of, presumably.
I'm probably politely stuffing my face.
All right.
But I'm gonna I avoided the cheese a little bit because I had cheese earlier and I don't want to have too much dairy. But hopefully no one really noticed.
Roll a. Well, let's see. Actually, I'll roll. Yeah, no, your any perceived indiscretion went unnoticed.
Could I dump some of the hors d'oeuvres into my pouch when no one's looking?
Sure. Give me a sleight of hand.
Ooh, it's gonna be good. Man, this guy's broken.
I see.
Oh, 8.
8.
I quickly sneezed. I sneezed.
You. What? Which of the hors d'oeuvres are you dumping in?
Little ones, little finger foods, something small.
So there'd be grapes, there'd be some crackers, or the Finnish fish.
Yeah, the fish.
All right, so you're dumping small fish into your pouch.
Yes.
You definitely notice Heather just like not even glaring, more like incredulous, like staring.
Man, what's with that girl? She's never seen a dwarf.
I feel like she's gonna face palm at some point.
Oh my god. Right. Are there any discussions or things you'd like to bring up during the dinner?
I don't know specifically, just that
When are you thinking of this dinner for this entertainment dinner?
When did you say?
Yeah.
Well, word does travel fast, if you get my drift. I mean, ideally, we would either have it. Well, ideally it would be Desal. I don't know. What is your schedule like? Can you stay around that long? So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4 days.
I think that we would probably need to discuss it with our whole group.
Ah, of course. I did think that. Well, Paelias seemed to. Maybe he was too busy to come. She's here.
I know it is more
so,
wants to,
but
No, he
but
doesn't.
you know, and Finric, I believe you might have had a different engagement as well.
Regretfully.
No regrets necessary.
He has quite a bit of catching up to do with his monk friends.
Of course, of course. Although I have to admit I haven't seen quite your shade of vestments around Wesleyville. What tradition did you say you were again?
Cobalt Soul. So no, I don't think there is a monastery of the Way of the Cobalt Soul in Wesleyville. However, I was hoping to use this opportunity because it is such a monk heavy city that I would use it as the opportunity to sort of expand my knowledge and horizons and spend some time with some of my fellow monks of other ways.
I understand perfectly, Finric. Not a problem. So the ones performing will be you, of course, Twizzard, Mr. Oniboni, and Agnes, and then Finistel. I trust you'll be there as well. Yes, I will be part of the performance.
all right.
Even though she was not actually there at the pyramid.
Well, she could play some different parts. She could be the Mummy Lord.
I mean,
Well,
I
I
don't
thought-
need to be. I could easily sit this one out. No, Finistel, of course you'll be part of it. A little.
Well, Finistel, maybe we could ask you to help out with some of the behind the scenes, like some of the magical appearances that will give a realistic feel to our performance.
Stage crew.
Yes,
Yes,
I think.
stage crew, special effects.
Yes, I can absolutely assist in that regard. And you see sort of Lady Norfolk like, oh, that sounds wonderful. Yes, special effects. We need all the special effects. And Heather rolls her eyes.
Pull out all the stops, which I believe is an organ term for playing the organ. We pull out all the
Really?
stops.
Interesting. I like that.
The bard would know that.
A bard should know that.
Well, I could see trying to go as early as DePaul, but I fear earlier than that now. Although I could make it, maybe I'd sell it as a more exclusive event.
I feel like this really could be an exclusive event that people would just be basically banging down the door trying to get in. I think it might even elevate your status if that's possible.
It could be once in a lifetime for some guests.
I think yes. All right. Let me formulate. I'll get the invites out. I could even get them out tonight. Do you think we could do that, Heather? Yes. All right. Wonderful. All right. Well, let's finish up our meal then. So yeah, you guys are just enjoying a fine old meal.
Nom 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 nom.
And yeah, after the sort of main course winds its way to a natural close, the unseen servants come back and clear the dishes, and they bring out a tray of what sort of look like cupcakes. They're a little smaller, but the icing is piled very, very high, like almost 7 inches high, of different colors of icing. There's white, there's sort of a tan. There's a darker brown, and there's even a purple.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, please partake.
Oh, that's great.
I think I will forego the desserts.
I'll take hers.
But I wouldn't mind playing while you finish your desserts.
That would be lovely. Thank you, Agnes. And you sort of, how do you guys want to eat these?
I'm just gonna cram the whole thing in.
You just sort of shove it in, and
Yeah.
and you to your surprise, Twizzard, as you're doing this, you sort of look over and you see Lady Norfolk sort of take one, and she's just like, whoop, and she like shoves it icing first into her mouth. And as you are looking at her doing this, and you're shoving that into your mouth, the icing, as it sort of hits the inside of your mouth, just sort of like disappears. Where you think you'd be like chewing it, or at least like it'd be like a. You think there'd be substance there, but there really isn't. But you do get this amazing flavor. What color did you eat first?
I took blue.
No, purple.
I took purple.
You get this amazing sort of mix of raspberry and blueberry flavor. Just like it almost feels like it bursts inside your brain. It's just like very eye-opening.
What kind of tomfoolery baked good is this? This is amazing. Who made this?
Oh, well, there are a number of bakeries that engage in the arcane augmentation of their products, and well, Heather and I just love them. And you do notice that Heather sort of has two. There's like little wrappers again, just like sort of cupcake wrappers, sort of in front of her, and she looks a little bit sheepish even, because she's sort of
I'm eating two of them.
she's scarfed down two right away. Yeah, you can scarf down some more.
My goodness, these are wonderful. I'm changing my specialty. I'm no longer conjuration. I'm now baked goods.
The tan are butterscotch, the brown are chocolate, and the white are vanilla. Not the berry is definitely the most exciting flavor, but they're all really good.
Oh, that was wonderful. That was the best part. I have one only bony. I pushed one in his face.
Oh, it's just like there's the icing, because now you can see it. You actually see though that the icing just smears inside his bones. It doesn't actually disappear, and Lady Norfell sort of looks at that and says, "Oh, fascinating." And Heather sort of whispers something in her ear, and she's like, "Oh, apparently it has to touch living flesh. That's fascinating."
No, I'm not gonna lick it off him.
No, save it for later.
If you tried to lick it off him, it would just sort of disappear as it touches your tongue, but you would get the flavor.
Okay, yeah, I'll save that for later. No one's around.
Just lick him when no one's looking.
Come here, Oni Boney. Open your mouth and let me lick inside there.
Oh man. Woo. Agnes, what are you playing on your lute?
I am going to play a. Let's see here. I think the first song will be something a little bit more ballady, and then I'll play like a more uplifting kind of jig.
All right. Give me a performance check for each of those.
Natural 20,
Whoa.
so 27,
Damn.
and 19.
I'm using your die next time.
Yeah, no, I mean, Lady Norfell and Heather are definitely both way into it. And yeah, no, it's just really good. Like especially the first one, but they're both really good.
Yeah, well, that's the ballad of of the Battle of the Ateum.
Okay, awesome. What does it encompass? What details are in it?
That it's about the pyramid and
Okay.
how the pyramid appeared, and the skeleton army essentially started pouring out of the front of the pyramid, and they were controlled by this large, what we thought was a mummy lord, but turned out to not be the mummy lord,
Right.
just kind of like the mummy priest, and essentially the main meat and potatoes of that battle.
All right. Is it literally called the Ballad of the Ateum, or does it have like one of those intros where you sort of speak and strum before you start singing, or?
Yeah, probably a little, introduction to it. But it's the Battle of the Ateum,
Oh,
and
okay.
and it is a ballad type of song.
Got it.
Yeah, I've been working hard on that one.
Awesome. Yeah, it is really well achieved. And then the jig afterwards, you said?
And a jig afterwards. Yeah, probably a very common jig. I can't remember what was the one that I played at the Singing Sisters. Something about rolling in the hay, I think.
All right. Is it a little ribald? Is it a little innuendo?
Oh yeah, probably, yeah.
All right.
rolling the hay, of course it is.
Sounds it.
Afterwards, Lady Norfell says, "Wow, Agnes, as part of the performance, will you be playing?"
Oh yes, I will most likely be using that first song as the background music while Mr. Twizzard acts out some of those actions that I sing about.
Excellent, excellent. I'm so excited. I'll add that to the invitation, of course. Now, I have to ask, do you know of the Duchess?
We have been told that the Duchess is probably the best inn in town.
It is, of course. Now, interesting, but you haven't been there yet.
Mm-mm.
Interesting. All right. I have a real opportunity here, Heather. Let me think about this. And she sort of like gets away from the table and like goes off to a corner and grabs some paper off a little desk in the corner, and she comes back and she's like, listen, okay, Joaquin, yes. Now, Agnes, there is a tradition of bards, of course, having patrons. Do you have a patron right now?
Since I'm a traveling bard, I really haven't had the opportunity of finding a patron.
Interesting. I can respect that, absolutely. And I know you're just passing through Wesleyville. If you were to... Now, do you... Okay, let's think about the logistics of this. Now, Joaquin is very particular. You would normally have to audition. But I think, given what I've just heard, and to be perfectly honest, wanting to drum up a little more interest in our get-together, it wouldn't hurt to have you play there, perhaps. One of the nights before now in the get-together. Would you be willing to do that?
Of course, if that would be a favor to you, I would be happy to do that.
Okay. This is what we'll do. I don't think I will ever get him to agree without the audition. However, I will pay your audition fee of 10 gold. So I will give you that now. Heather, could you run along and call it 50? Heather's sort of like... She sort of whispers something in her ear, and she's like, "Oh, go on, Heather. It'll be fine." Heather goes off.
Well, she'll be missed.
What was that, Finric?
Oh, she'll be missed.
Yes, of course. All right, so I will pay your, and then give you an extra 40 gold if you will just sort of allude to the get-together and that you'll be performing there with that, and then of course if you don't need to say that I'm your patron, but technically I will have given you a little something, so if you wanted to, you could.
And who do you want me to allude this upcoming performance to? To the person who owns the Duchess? What is their name?
Oh, Joaquin Estrazio.
Joaquin Estrazio. Well, let me write that down. Joaquin, and I'm guessing that's with the J.
It is, yes. He is always impeccably dressed. You can't help but notice him.
Okay. Well, should I mention it to him, or should I mention it to whoever happens to be in the room at the time?
Oh, if you play even half as well as you just played, there will be many people approaching you after your performance.
Okay.
I
Right.
will actually here. Let me just write a little note to Joaquin, and she sort of like writes a little something, and rolls it up, and takes a seal from around a necklace on her neck, and puts a little wax on, and hands you a small rolled up scroll.
Okay.
Give that to Joaquin in case he says that there's no additions that night or whatever. This will help.
Okay. All right, and then I will go tomorrow night.
Excellent. It's all coming together. I'm very excited. Heather comes in with a small pouch. You can hear the clink of coins inside.
I feel like maybe I should play The Name of the Gust.
The name of the gust.
I may be borrowing some things here and there. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Or is it The Name of the Breeze? I guess it depends on how powerful we want the song to be. The gust is a little bit more with gusto.
That's right. Right. All right, so it's probably it's getting on. After that exchange, there's a little bit of an awkward pause where it's like, the desserts have been cleared away by the unseen servants, and there's a little bit of a
what do we do now kind of thing.
What do we do now? And she's like, well, it was very pleasant. Thank you for accompanying me and Heather from Windbell all the way here. And I look forward to the event on, what did we decide on? Or did you still need to talk to your friend Paelias?
Yeah, I think that we wanted to do it sooner than later. I didn't think we were going to stay too long in Wesleyville. It's really just a stopping point. So if we could do it maybe in 2 or 3 days, that would probably be optimal.
All right, well, assuming that you're playing tomorrow, evening of Dalk, and then, yes, I think I can make DePaul work. So, yes, let's shoot for that then, shall we?
Certainly. DePaul. As long as it's not Dalk.
Bad things happen on Dalk.
Yeah, I have a feeling that my playing is going to be off on Dalk, but I have advantage on my performances because I'm an actor, so.
Awesome.
It should be all right.
Should be all right. All right. What are you guys doing?
I guess we got to find a place to sleep.
Yeah.
I got Lehman's tiny hut. We just go behind her house.
Well, we can't all.
All right, so Heather and Lady Norfil sort of wave to you as you head out the front door, and you find yourselves in the front yard, as it were, of the Lewin estate. It is. The sun may not have set yet. However, in the city with some of the taller estates around, and there is generally more atmosphere. You get the feeling that there, this many houses, this many smokestacks. It's not like the air is dirty, but there is greater atmosphere here than would it be in Windbell, like right near the coast. This is a river; it's not an ocean, so a little bit more atmosphere. So it's dim. It's dim light.
So should we go to the Duchess then to find lodging?
Yeah, I was gonna say, how expensive can a nice hotel be?
Well, a regular one is like maybe a couple copper or silver per night.
Black Bolt probably would have been cheap.
Yeah, it probably would have been a couple copper.
Or we go back there.
No. Yeah, I would agree. I'm not going back to the Black Bolt. Don't even know what the Hog's Wallet does, except for makes you feel like you got punched in the stomach.
All right, so we go to the Duchess.
All right.
All right. So
And we're sending some Paelias to let him know we're gonna be at the Duchess.
he sends back. What does he send back?
I think the Duchess is somewhere over here.
You don't get a response.
I hope he's not dead.
All right, so you guys.
What should we do with our horses? Should we have asked to have kept them there?
Oh my God! Let's rewind. All right, so you're sort of standing on the porch, and Lady Norfil's like, Will you be riding to your accommodations for tonight?
Well, I think we're going to stay at the Duchess. Is that within a
Oh,
decent walking distance?
oh, absolutely. It's see that street there? Just go left there. You won't miss it. Large, very, very beautiful statues in front of it.
Would it be possible for us to keep our horses here for a day or two?
Absolutely, no problem.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Alright.
So stable horses. I tell Clyde to look after the other horses.
All right. All right.
Oh, and what about the pony and the mule? Do we?
I said and mules under my.
Oh, okay.
Under,
Not the
under
pony
his
though.
breath.
The pony.
Oh, pony can take care of itself.
Orc Slayer.
All right, so you guys follow the directions that seem to match up with what Shady told you, and sure enough, there are large, sort of what look like maybe white marble or some type of smooth stone statues of musicians outside the Duchess, and one taller than the rest, sort of in the center. And it's definitely a happening place. You hear music coming out. It sounds like perhaps a flute being played currently, and windows warmly lit, 2 stories, and you're outside the Duchess.
Could I do an investigation check on the largest statue?
Sure.
I'm looking specifically for what instrument this particular musician is playing or
Sure.
might be connected
No, you don't
to.
even need the check. It is a lute, and it is
Male or female?
male. Sort of a you can tell the carving is very detailed.
Eunuch.
Well, not that detailed. Well tailored pants, shoes, waistcoat, cloak, sort of carved in a perpetually flowing, dramatic gesture, and the lute sort of strumming, and mouth parted to sing.
Oh, I have a feeling I know who this is.
I feel like we should be using the servants' entrance.
Well, you cleaned Mr. Bones up, and most of you changed. Perhaps not Finric.
Oh,
And
Mr.
actually
Bones
not
is covered
Twizzard
in
either.
Covered in frosting. So I'm going to try to get this particular statue's image to memory so that when I go inside, I can seem like I know exactly who I'm looking for.
All right.
I think you're gonna impersonate him.
No, I should go disguise self as this person.
Oh my
but
gosh.
I don't know them, so I wouldn't be able to do the voice yet. And I would probably be all marbly. I wouldn't know any other colors to use.
Didn't one of you have something that changes your voice at one point?
Oh,
Never mind.
because I'm an actor, I can change my voice.
That's what it was. Yeah, the actor feat.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we haven't tried to. We haven't tried to use that to disguise you as a statue. Exactly, some random location where you need to evade attention. It's just
I can
perfect.
just use invisibility, but
It's good to have variety.
It's good to have variety.
So we go inside.
You go inside. Sure.
Sounds
Go
good.
inside.
Ooh, try the signature drink too.
What's that?
We can try the signature drink too.
No, you definitely could. Definitely could. All right. It is definitely a lively place. There are multiple servers walking back and forth. The bar is rather large. A lot of glass bottles of varying shapes, sizes, colors behind it. You see a large part of one wall taken up by a stage. And there is indeed a flautist on the stage, a taller, blonde-haired woman, some sort of dress-like garb, almost Roman in nature, is fluting her little heart out, her big heart out.
Playing Aqualung.
What's that?
Is she playing Aqualung?
Aqualung?
Aqualung. You know, Jethro Tull.
Oh. No.
I do. Exactly.
But yeah, no, definitely varying clientele. Agnes, you feel all right in your sort of performance garb because there are other musicians there as well. Twizzard and Finric, you're definitely a little on the shabby side for this place. Some people stare askance, and just like actually at the Black Bull, some sort of do it surreptitiously, but some do it glaringly obviously as you walk past them. There are a few tables free, or you could go to the bar. What would you like to do?
Should we secure a room before we secure a drink?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Can we find an innkeeper?
Throw our stuff upstairs and.
You would probably just converse at the bar.
Okay. Let's go over to the bartender.
Yeah, there's multiple bartenders there. One sort of comes up and says, sort of glances at you, Twizzard, and Finric, and Agnes. Sees
It's a laundry day.
What's that?
It's a laundry day.
Of course.
Yeah, we weren't all born with shirts. Come on.
He sees Agnes's lute, and his eyes sort of like engage for a bit, but mostly he's just like, what can I get for you?
Rooms and the house drink.
Rooms and the house drink.
Yes.
Interesting. Well, and you have coin to pay for this?
Yeah. Do you take platinum?
We do indeed, sir.
Okay, just checking.
How much are the rooms?
2 gold a night.
Well,
Is
are
that?
they nice?
Oh, they're very nice.
Okay, well, I might just have to check that out myself.
How many beds in a room?
That depends on the size of the room you're looking for. We have some with 1 large bed, or we have some with 2 smaller beds. What would your And he sort of at this point just notices Mr. Bones. Group. I'm sorry. What is that?
That's Mr. Bones. He doesn't need a bed.
Your Mr. Bones cannot be in here.
But look, he's in here. Apparently he
Yes.
can't be in here.
And notice the stares that he is garnering.
He won't fall down
That
those
happens
stairs.
everywhere. It's not just like a Duchess thing.
Yes, but it is not the look that we are going for here.
I
Please,
understand. Well, why don't we stash him in one of the rooms that we're going to rent? That way, he doesn't need to be bothered to your other
Oh my god.
clientele.
hold on one moment.
Okay.
This is Boneism.
Yeah, this is bonism.
Mm-hmm.
There's a choking situation here in the house.
No.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Nothing's wrong. That will cost you extra.
Why?
So to stash our skeleton?
Yes, there is a skeleton stashing fee.
You just made that up.
What if I
Did I?
sending stone Mr. Twizzard and Finric and say, can he fit in the bag of holding? Walk outside, put him in the bag of holding, come back in, be like, we took care of the skeleton.
Is he 9 feet?
Yes.
Could be tough.
But if you take out one of his femurs, doesn't he kind of like get smaller? Maybe we can have him just kind of.
We have to disassemble him?
Well, you don't have to disassemble, but just have him kind of like curl up into a ball.
Okay.
That should at least half his size.
For easy storage?
Yeah, because we're 2 feet in diameter and 4 feet deep.
Oh, yeah, it might not work for him.
I guess an interior space considered. Wait, no, hang on. Sorry, that's the outside dimensions. The bag can hold up to 500 pounds, not exceeding a volume of 64 cubic feet, which, that's some cubic feet. Oh, I sure would like to. So if we remove his femur, he collapses into a pile of bones.
No,
he just collapses because he can't stand on one leg very well.
Yeah. But we could keep removing bones, right? Until he has a pile?
Yeah, you could get him in there.
All right.
It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight, but you could do it.
All right, so we'll tell the barkeep, 1 moment, please. We'll run outside, we'll collapse Mr. Bones, put him in the bag.
You should do it in a place where nobody's going to see you do that.
Yeah, so let's see. So who's going out? Twizzard and Finric?
Sure.
Or are you all going out?
Well, and Mr. Bones. No, I'm going to stay. I'm sure Finn's
gonna stay as well. Yep.
We'll procure our room. I'm guessing that we would probably split a room.
Yes, that sounds. Yes, please.
If the rooms are big enough, we can even put Lena's tiny hut in there, so we'll be protected.
We can't all fit in there.
Why don't we just tell the innkeep or whoever his name is that Twizzard and I'll split a room, and we'll send Mr. Bones on his way and be right back.
All right. That sounds good.
All right, that will work. Now there was a question of payment. You mentioned platinum.
I was just joking. Either one, I can give. Platinum or gold is fine. Whatever's easier.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's 2 gold, so I feel like platinum is a little bit of overkill. Because 1 platinum is the same as 10 gold.
And you mentioned you did want the house drink.
What's the house drink called?
Ah,
Hoity-toity?
Wow, I have a description of it, but I didn't give it a name. What kind of lame DM am I?
One that has your head in other places right now.
Let's see. What would they call this?
The Drunken Duchess?
No, definitely not. Oh, I think it's called. Yes, the eggshell. Of course. So let's see. How many eggshells do you want?
I'll take one.
Yeah, I'll take one.
I suppose I'll take one as well.
Forget princess.
Do you happen to have a flask for putting one in? Putting a serving in a flask?
You want eggshell to go?
I could give you one of our smaller bottles.
That would certainly work.
All right, so let's see. 4 eggshells and the 2 rooms. That would be 8 gold all told.
Well, then I hand him a platinum.
Will you be requiring change?
Sure would be nice.
Sort of hands you 2 gold back.
I slip him 2 silver as tip.
He nods at you. He goes off, begins making some drinks, presumably. Meanwhile, another serving boy comes up and says, "Are you folks? You need 2 rooms? You said."
Yeah.
Oh, I think we said 4.
4.
Yeah.
I was
I'm
told.
kidding.
Oh, okay.
Here's
Here's rooms 5 and 7. He hands you 2 keys. heavy brass keys.
Dibs on 5.
Great.
Seven
Where are they?
fine.
Oh, up the stairs. And he sort of gestures, and there's this like large swooping staircase up to a landing that continues around a little bit, but then disappears into a hallway.
Great. Thank you.
Do we want our drinks brought up to the room, or do we have them in our hands? Are we drinking them at the bar?
Oh, we probably want to stay down here. There's entertainment going on, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
this was the little sort of runner boy who gave you the keys, and then you see the first person you talk to comes back, and he sort of puts down these sort of very delicate glass, tall, a little bit between a champagne and a white wine glass, and the liquid inside is
Like a Nick and Nora type thing?
what's that?
Like a Nick and Nora type?
Oh, I don't know that reference. But it has a what looks like a white wine inside it.
Oh, Nick and
Will there be anything else?
I think I will probably want to speak with Joaquin, but it could be tomorrow if he's too busy now.
I see. May I ask who would like to talk to him?
Tell him Agnes of Skye.
All right, I will do that. He sort of moves off. All right, you guys are left at the bar with your eggshells.
Ooh.
Cheers.
Yeah. No.
Finn,
Is this a sipping or is this a
It is. I mean, it looks like it looks like a glass of white wine. So you drink it however you want.
and I have it in a small bottle?
He put the small bottle next to your glass.
Okay.
Yeah, fill it yourself.
Yeah, then I'll
That's for the small tip.
great. Then I'll try to pour it in as best as I can.
We'll make the boys with our tip money.
All right, give me a straight dexterity check to see how.
Not sleight of hand?
All
I'm gonna
right,
hold my
fine.
glass
Sleight of
under it.
hand. Sleight of hand's fine.
23.
Do you
All
ever
right.
roll low?
Yep. You
Well, sleight of hand I have really high additive.
don't spill a drop. The rest of you are sipping, chugging. What are you doing?
I chug mine.
All right.
I'm gonna wait and see what happens to Twizzard before
All
I
right.
decide
So
what
you
to
do one of those like, and Twizzard chugs his, and he's like, and Twizzard, it is really good. It is like really good wine. It's got a slight berry flavor to it. It's very refreshing. It's smooth, delightful palate, whatever that means.
This is wonderful.
And Finric, you're sort of looking at him expectantly. He sugs it, and he looks happy. And his red mohawk goes, "Phoom," and turns bright white.
I don't know what the hell I drank, but that
And
was
then
really good.
his beard, "Phoom," goes bright white.
Oh, look at that.
Huh.
And Finn
I
sort of
drank
looks
like
over and
440.
does a double take as Finn's hair. She took sort of half a glass, and from her roots out, like to about halfway, her hair has gone bright white as well.
All right. Well, when
When in Wesleyville.
yeah,
Well, I suppose this could be worse.
I'm gonna sip on mine. I do want to savor it, but
All right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice to sip on.
I checked my pants. Yeah, everything's white.
Everything's white. Oh
So
yeah.
you
All
put
your
her
all
in
your
for
all your
the carpet?
your dwarven chest hair visible beneath the gold chains is now white.
Oh boy. Kind of wish I had a shirt now, but oh well.
You can conjure yourself a shirt for an hour.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
That's all right. Let the people see.
All right. All right. So you've acquired rooms. The flautist is being replaced by. Whoa. flautist is being replaced by a sort of larger, probably a human, male comes on stage with a sort of what could be a bagpipes, and then sure enough, it's a bagpipes, and he starts I don't know, what do you call it? Blowing, belting? I don't know. He just starts playing the bagpipes, but it's very, very, very well played. You get the idea that the bards and the musicians who play here are very good.
This is no place for xylobones.
Xylobone.
Xylobones. Oh my god, amazing. All right, what would you folks like to do?
Were you gonna perform here?
Yeah, but I need to audition, and I thought I would audition the next day.
Oh, okay. We want to walk around town more, or stay here. What time is it?
Well, the sun may or may not have just set. It's hard to tell. So I probably would be okay with making it an early night. I mean, we did travel the past 7 days. This would be our first actual night in a bed.
Just while we're in town, I wouldn't mind checking out Magic Town, whatever was there. And then, of course, being in the circus.
Is that's a daytime thing, or?
I guess so. I don't really know what to expect there. I'm assuming it could be daytime.
Do we have to keep an eye out for some little pesky, probably teenage wizards that turn goats mean?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Wizards? I don't know.
You got to give them a walloping for. Maybe I'll just give them a hog's wallop for doing that to the Mr. or Farmer McDonald's 4 goats.
Twizzard, while at the bar, Twizzard, the flautist that you saw performing earlier, sort of comes up and catches the eye of one of the other barkeeps, and she orders a mead as well, and goes off. And she sort of turns to you, and she says, "Are you new in town?"
Yeah, we just got here today. Never been here before.
And she sort of like looks down the bar at Agnes, or looks down the bar at Agnes, the bard, and sees the lute. And, will you be playing as well?
I do hope so.
Excellent, excellent. We're always welcome to new blood around here.
And may I ask your name? You were quite pleasant to listen to.
Thank you. Sylvia. Sylvia's my name.
Sylvia the flautist.
Yep, that's me. I couldn't help but notice you folks walking in earlier. Quite the the change of pace, if I'm being honest, but it's a welcome change of pace.
Well, we are a very interesting group. That is true.
We like it that way.
Although, it sometimes does get kind of lonely.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you.
Why don't you join us and toot some flutes?
Oh, Sylvia, this is Finric, the monk.
Nice to meet you, Finric.
And this is Twizzard, Mr. Twizzard the wizard. And we have Finistrel here.
Ah, Finn. Nice to meet you, Finn. Yes. The pleasure is mine as well.
And I'm Agnes of Skye.
Excellent.
We have
excellent.
others who would like to meet you, but one's in a bag and one's praying.
I'm sorry?
Oh, never mind.
One of your friends
have
is in a
more.
bag?
No, we have more to our group. They are just not here with us right now.
Ah, well, of course. And will you be staying at the Duchess then?
Well, at least for tonight. We'll see how it goes. I hope to be able to play, or at least audition, tomorrow.
Oh, Oh, excellent, excellent. Happy to hear. I live over in Cherub Downs, but just between us bards, they do tip very well here.
Well, I'm not necessarily here for the tips,
Oh,
but
oh, well,
that is definitely a nice addition to essentially the reputation that I would like to gain in this area.
oh, interesting. So it's a game of clout that you're playing.
Oh, it's a little bit of everything. I mean, we're just passing through, but I might as well make a name for myself wherever I go.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I am gonna head out, but very nice meeting all of you.
Mm.
Yeah, and lovely hearing you.
You're very welcome.
Stop by tomorrow and you might hear me.
Maybe I'll do that.
Don't forget the tip.
She heads out.
Don't forget to tip your waiter.
And the first person you talk to comes back. Yes, Agnes, was it?
Yes.
Would you care to speak with Joaquin perhaps tomorrow around 4 p.m.?
Yes, I could do that.
Excellent. One moment, please.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh. Is Joaquin beside you guy?
Yeah, that's who I think he is.
Okay. Hello.
Hey.
Hello, Paelias.
I'm gonna sending stone Paelias again.
Hi.
It works.
Oh shoot, man!
He picks up.
I got through to you.
Yeah. Hey. What's up? Sorry, I've been out of reception in the temple.
No worries.
Oh, it's a no-call zone. Oh, I get it.
Oh yeah, you had to leave your stones. Up
Yeah.
there.
They've got a barrier against sending stones, apparently.
A lot of temples are like that.
So
Yeah.
we're over here at the Duchess. The rooms are kind of pricey, but they're supposed to be pretty good. So we're looking forward to that.
Okay. Cool. Is it a flying duchess?
No.
Just a duchess.
It's anchored down.
Yeah. And their specialty drink turns your hair white.
Oh, that's nice. I already did that though for like a couple episodes when we got old.
That's right. That's right.
Well, you know, if you're feeling nostalgic.
You can do it again.
Cool.
We don't know for how long.
What are you guys up to now?
Oh, probably gonna turn in soon.
Cool. All right.
Mm.
Yeah, it's probably around
Well-
9 p.m. now, or I don't know.
Have you talked with Anne lately?
Yeah, she's good. She's chilling. She's keeping the town under close observation, and she's missing me.
Oh,
Yeah, Paelias, you found a asking around. You did get lost for a bit of time, but you
Sounds
were.
like me.
What's that?
It sounds like me.
That sounds like you. Yeah, exactly. Somewhere, you followed directions to somewhere between Church Street and Parliament. You found a small temple. Would be a exaggeration, really. A small place of worship devoted to Mistra. And you found peace and solace there, and worked on your communing, as it were. You also found a delightful little place nearby to get a meal.
Crepes?
Crepes, yes.
Right.
Yep. Creperie.
I do love a good post-prey crepe.
Yep. that is what you shall have, or that is what you had. But now you feel like you've communed enough, and so you're sort of sending stone your friends to see where they are, and the sort of tall red clay roof buildings of the Parliament sort of rise near you. You notice a couple of shops near you besides the creperie. These are now closed, but you see one with what looks like a stuffed bear on the sign, and a couple other little shops. You also, as you sort of exit this sanctuary, you do notice some city guard sort of looking at you, sort of gauging whether you have a place to go right now. What would you like to do?
I look at him.
He looks
And
at
I
you.
say,
He looks
I
at you.
say, hey, can you direct me to the Duchess?
Ah, of course, sir. How familiar are you with Wesleyville?
Let's say not very.
I see. And your business at the Duchess?
Meeting up with some friends.
Of course, sir. And he blows a whistle very loudly, and he says, "But a moment." And you see this sort of maybe like late teens, run up, not in the same sort of armor or mail rather as the city guard, but a still fairly nice leather armor, again with the crest of Wesleyville on it. He sort of runs up and salutes the first city guard, and he's like, "Bosley, direct this cleric to the Duchess, if you would." Of course, sir, of course. Come with me." And so he sort of leads you away, and he would lead you sort of around one of the larger, longer, red-roofed buildings, and down another. And the lanes here are cobblestone, by the way, in the estates. And he sort of leads you down and around, and it's not that long a walk, maybe 10 minutes. And then you see in front of you, Paelias, a rather large, at least 2 stories, there might be a third, building, and there are these large white marble statues out front of various musicians. And the guard sort of stands at attention. Would he salute you? Sure, why not? He's a little nervous. He's like, "Will there be anything else?"
This is it then.
Yes,
This,
the Duchess.
very nice. Oh, very, very, very pleasant. All right. Well, thank you very much, sir. Shall I tip you? Do you get tipped? Is that how this works?
Oh, no tip necessary for the city garden.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Hustles off.
All right. Let's go inside.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. You go inside.
What's the room?
It's a hustling and bustling place. A bagpiper, a piper. A piper is
No,
just
piper.
what's that?
A piper.
A piper. A piper is finishing his set up on stage. You sort of look around, and at the bar, you see the bright white mohawk of Twizzard. Finric has shooting white sprigs of hair coming out from underneath his helmet. And Agnes still has her reddish orange hair. Is it red or orange?
It's supposed to be auburn,
Okay.
so redder.
Finistel has about 3/4 of her, starting at the roots and going down, is bright white, and then she has the remaining is her natural blonde. But they're sitting at the bar.
All right.
Mr. Oni Boni is nowhere to be seen.
Hey guys, how are the drinks?
Hey,
A little tasty.
try the eggshell.
The eggshell.
It'll turn you white. Just your hair. You still feel your normal, regular self, though.
Well, is there something that turns me like blue?
Don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, but it's no need to stop trying.
Yeah, right. How about some of that blue liquid, sir, bartender?
And another the bartender sort of walks up, catches your eye. The berry liqueur.
Yum. Yeah.
Absolutely. He sort of gets a small aperitif glass and pours in some berry liqueur and hands it to you.
All right, down the hatch.
It's very good.
Yum.
Will you be ordering more, sir? Should I open a tab?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, what would you recommend?
Oh, well, we have everything here, sir. The ice wine from Torin is quite good.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with it?
Oh, I've had the ice wine. Sure. Yep.
Excellent,
fan of
sir.
ice wine.
One of your taste, I can imagine. Will you be staying at the Duchess tonight?
I believe we are. We have rooms there,
Oh.
guys.
Are you part of this group here?
I am.
Excellent, excellent. This is not the same guy that you guys talked to earlier.
Yeah, this guy sounds a little nicer.
Yeah.
First guy was looking down at us and up at Mr. Gold.
Yeah. I'll have one of those ice wines. That sounds great.
Yes, anything for you folks?
What else you got?
Yeah, and specific question. So I've noticed my hair is a bit whiter than it was when I came in.
Yes, you've joined the ranks of the eggshells.
Ah, gotcha. Does that wear off?
Of course, sir, of course. It'll be gone in the morning.
Great. What happens if I have like a couple of them?
Oh, nothing, sir. Just the usual inebriation.
Gotcha. Then I'll have another one of these guys.
Very good, sir. What else do we have? We have a Graysdale mead, a Sounton, a Scutton, a white wine, a red wine, a plum wine.
Oh, a Scutton. I'll have the Scutton.
Yes, sir. Very good, sir.
Scutton. I don't think I know that.
Unless you have any Methylglyn.
Ah, we do.
Oh, then I'll have a glass of that.
Ah, indeed, indeed. Good, good, sir.
What's methadone?
Well, if you haven't had it, I don't know if I could describe it for you. It's absolutely wonderful.
Well, maybe I'll try one of those then.
Mm.
All right, so he comes back with two glasses of a perfectly clear liquid for Paelias and Twizzard, another taller white wine for Finric, which you recognize as the eggshell. And he sort of turns to Agnes, who had maybe been perusing the crowd for a bit, and says, I'm sorry, did you require another drink as well, ma'am?
I'll just do a non-alcoholic cider if you have it.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Yeah, wow, you pronounced it so well, Tim.
I don't know if that was the right pronunciation.
I don't know, it sounded good to me. But Methylglyn, you know, it's actually a real drink as well. It's like it's a real it's a real liqueur.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh.
apparently, or at least in Canada it is. But yeah, so it is like a cool spring morning with bursts of flowers, and it just serves to just makes you feel so very, very good. It is indescribable.
In real life?
In this game, at least. I haven't had it in real life.
Yeah, but it's like spiced meat, right?
Yeah.
Mead?
Meat.
Spiced mead.
Mead, yeah.
Not spiced meat.
No,
Right.
not spiced meat. Finric, you drink another eggshell, but nothing else happens. Your hair is still white.
Gotcha.
But
Good, Vinny.
yeah, those of you who are having your second drinks, give me some constitution checks.
For any of them?
Second alcoholic drinks. Well, you pounded that blueberry liqueur, and now you're drinking this.
I got a 14.
14.
14.
This is technically my third drink
Oh, wait, what was your...
before dinner.
We had the Black Bull.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, and I guess probably Lady Norfolk would not have had... probably wouldn't have had alcoholic drinks, actually.
All right,
But
so
that
probably-
the Black Bull drink was a long time ago. So.
fair enough.
Whoa, nat 20.
All right, Paelias, your communing with your god has made you you're very zen. You're very in the zone. Twizzard and Finric, you're definitely feeling the effects. You're like a very pleasant tipsy.
Excellent. How's Finn still doing?
Oh my gosh, great question. So glad you reminded me she's there. I think I might have had enough actually. I may retire soon. I don't know, Agnes.
Yeah.
Do you have our key, Agnes?
Sure. Would you like me to help you upstairs?
I think that might be. Helpful.
All right. I'm going to ask the barkeep if it's okay if I bring my cider up to my room.
Yeah. Yes, of course, ma'am.
All right. And then so I'll go up with Vin, and I'm going to call it a night.
All right, you guys head up. After the piper, a Goliath, actually, with a rather large lute, probably the largest lute any of you have ever seen, has come on stage, and it is a very low instrument, produces very low notes, and they sort of sing with this bass voice, and it's very low and very compelling. And they're performing on stage while you folks enjoy your second or third drinks, depending on how you look at it.
We lost you for a second. You said there was a big guy on stage?
Big loot.
Big Goliath, so like an 8-foot tall, and with a big lute with a lot of bass.
How come he's not in? Not Mr. Bones. Just because he has skin.
Yes, Paelias,
Are
you
you
missed.
thinking what I'm thinking?
What's that?
Twizzard, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
You want to...
No.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're thinking.
The answer is no.
The answer is no. What were you thinking?
Should get some skin for Mr. Bones.
Yeah, from this guy.
Oh.
All right, let's buy him some drinks until we get him good and smashed.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Skin.
All right. On that note, I'm going to bow out tonight.
Real
What?
life bed. All right.
I'm
Just-
going to let go to bed, but you guys can continue.
Just went downhill.
Oh,
Which
Good
is
night.
accurate. Good
I
idea.
feel like I've never done this myself, but I feel like I've heard if you scare someone hard enough, he can jump out of the skin.
Ooh. Okay, I'm down for trying this.
Cool.
What do we have that can scare him? I guess it all depends person to person, right? One person could be spiders, the other one could be heights.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not stage fright, so we got it narrowed down.
hmm Maybe we just throw some like spiders and snakes and rats at him at the same time and just hope for the best.
All right, I conjure a spider and toss it on stage.
Oh my god. Wow. All right, describe this spider to me.
Oh, okay, it's a little tarantula sized. It's hairy, 8 legs. I don't know if it can move. I think I can just make inanimate things.
Can it have like, in addition to being hairy, can it also have spikes?
Can I have what?
Can it have spikes?
Sure, it's got little spikes along its back.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like sort of like, like Shredder. From
Oh.
Ninja Turtles, or like that.
All right,
Alright.
give me a and you do this while he's playing?
Yes.
All right. You would need to get somewhat closer to the stage. It is a bit far from the bar because you want to be able to hear people ordering drinks, and so the stage is. Do you want to walk closer? Or are you chucking it from there? Like, it's probably a
plan.
good 25, 30
Yeah.
feet to the stage.
New plan. I'm going to cast an unseen servant, and I'm going to give the spider to the unseen servant, and he's going to not carry it, but wiggle it along the floor
Okay.
towards the stage,
All right.
Unseen.
Wiggle it along the floor all the way to the stage.
like it's walking.
All right. Give me an intimidation check.
Oh, it's looking good. Oh, 13. Hmm.
All right. And what is the route past the other tables that this unseen servant is taking?
What's the route? I mean,
Is it going like along the side? Is it going straight between tables? How's it going?
it's kind of going maybe as direct as it can go without having to move around people. If it has to move around people, it's not going to go over anyone. It's just going to try and be, it's going to try and be sneaky. But when it gets to the stage,
how big is this spider again?
The size of a small dinner plate.
All right.
A good bread plate.
Surprisingly, whether it's like because of the song and they're like really paying attention, or because it's a little later in the night and people are a little into their cups, no one notices as a spider the size of a dinner plate with some spikes, was it, and some
Shredder spikes.
some shredder spikes and some really disturbing looking thing, makes its weaving way through the tables. Someone pushes their chair back as they sort of laugh out loud, and it sort of just misses that, and gets up to the stage, and looks kind of like it's like jumping up onto the stage.
Excellent.
And as it does, this 8-foot tall Goliath playing this giant lute, he's like in the music, but right when it moves onto stage, he looks down and he's like, "Oh my god, a spider!" And he like just throws the lute and like, just barely manages to hold on to its strap as he like turns and runs off the stage. And everybody who's like vibing with the music is just like, they like sort of like broken from their reverie. They see this spider still moving a little bit on the stage, and just like panic breaks out. People are screaming. You see a magic missile fly out and like hit the spider. You just as a bolt of frost like freezes at the stage, and it's like, and there's like another like beam shoots out, and like the area around it is now covered in smoke as you start to hear cut through the chaos this booming voice. "I will not have my place of rest and music disturbed." And this sort of palpable wave flows over all of you. And as it goes, the anything magical in its way, your hair turns back to its normal color. You notice someone who was trying to appear taller actually like drops like a foot to the ground because they were actually floating the entire time. But the spider disappears, the frost that was holding it disappears, a magic missile that's in midair disappears as this wave fills the room, and just like the whole room goes quiet. And you see this individual dressed in this sort of impeccable sapphire waistcoat stride out from some back room, and they're like, "Who is responsible for this disturbance?"
You're gonna get us kicked out.
You sort of sees him gaze all around the room, and like everyone's like, no one's saying anything. And as you're all sort of gazing at the rest of the people in the Duchess, you notice a group of people in very familiar burgundy robes sitting at a table near the front, and who you can only suspect is Joaquin walks up to them and a heated discussion starts. And
Uh-oh.
as you're watching this group in the burgundy robes be basically chewed out by Joaquin Estavio, Finric, you feel your sending stone buzz.
Guys, I feel my sending stone buzz. Should I pick it up?
Yeah, no, answer it.
What does that mean? Someone's trying to call you that is not on our network?
Yeah, is it, what's her name? Should I pick it up?
It is. I guess you can tell, right? Yeah, you can tell. Can you tell? I don't know if you can tell.
Oh, it's Elsa?
No,
Do you have caller ID?
yeah, I pick it up. Hey,
Finric, it's me, Skye.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Things were very busy today. I did not do my normal scrying at noon, but I did just do it now. He's in Centralia, and I think
Uh-oh.
that's where we'll end for tonight.
Centralia, where's that?
That's the continent you're on.
No.
He's back.
No.
All
That's
right.
all she can tell us. He's in Centralia? Like, narrow it down there, Skye.
Well, you
Make
can
down
you can continue the conversation next time. Thank you all for playing. Thank you all for watching. And we'll see you next Friday for another episode of BND Live.